For those looking for an open-world experience, this particular entry in Ubisoft's FPS series will have plenty in store. First announced at this year's Ubisoft Forward, what initially drew audiences was the introduction of Giancarlo Esposito in another menacing role as dictator, Anton Castillo. Players will lead the revolution as Danny Rojas, whose tactics anchor on guerrilla warfare and infiltrating enemy lines. And in this fictional tropical country of Yara, there are so many ways of doing just that. According to developers, Yara isn't just beautiful, but it will also be the biggest hub world in the series. It is one of the first urban settings in the series as well, and its back alleys and rooftop chases might even remind us of Assassin's Creed. Figure out the connection between Rojas and the Castillos as it comes out on PC, Stadia, Luna, and PlayStation and Xbox consoles in March 2021.
Warship sighted! Portuguese frigate ahoy!
Skull and Bones. Another game that's fallen out of our radars is this pirate-based action-adventure from Ubisoft. After the overwhelming success of the naval battles of Assassin's Creed, it was a natural next step to offer a full-blown maritime adventure. It's a dive into the golden age of piracy, playing captain to a notorious pirate crew in the Indian Ocean. One of its biggest draws was its focus on multiplayer combat, with the game modes that pit players against warships, merchant ships, and even other players.
To the bottom of the sea they go!
With so much on Ubisoft's plate though, like Valhalla and Watch Dogs, Skull and Bones had to be put in the back burner. But now that the two games have made their next-gen debut, Ubisoft has rebooted development in this new IP. Taking inspiration from the multiplayer template of Fortnite, it will hopefully be a game with a more concrete identity. It's targeted to release on PC, PS4, and Xbox One in 2021. Hogwarts Legacy. If there is one place we share in our collective childhood dreams, it's the school halls of Hogwarts. And while we've had some experience of the world thanks to previous video game adaptations based on the film, this will be the first time we get the open world experience with today's impressive visuals. Set in the 1800s, it's far away from the generation that we've grown up to love, but in it we get to play as a new character who possesses the ability to wield ancient magic and fight against the secrets that are threatening to tear down the wizarding world. We only have the reveal trailer so far, but it was clearly designed to dazzle with its 4K resolution. The trailer didn't say all that much, however, its scenes of the familiar life inside Hogwarts have left many already fantasizing about what else to expect. It's set to release on PC, PS4, Xbox One, PS5, and Series X in 2021. Stalker II. After more than a decade of waiting, we're all due for a return to GSC Game World's FPS set in the Chernobyl exclusion zone. It's been a long road for the creation of this installment, but now that it's being made on the Unreal Engine 4, the wait would seem to have been worth it. Its mesmerizing trailer in 4K gave us a glimpse of what to expect in their dark and dreary environment. We've come face to face with mutated creatures before, but the new floating anomaly is certainly intriguing. Aside from the proximity to the disaster, we don't know too much about what to expect from the game. However, what's certain is that it will be an open-world experience which developers claim will be one of the biggest and most seamless to date. The story it houses will be non-linear, where your choices matter in the outcome. Some details may still be a blur, but we're expecting to hear more about it when it comes out on PC and Series X in 2021. Gotham Knights. DC's iconic city isn't about to go dark now. In this new game under Warner Bros. Wing, the famous Cape Crusader has died and it rests on a new generation of vigilantes to protect the city of Gotham. We'll get to see Batgirl, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Robin in their journey to become the heroes that the city needs. Their world premiere trailer was more of a cinematic display, but it did demonstrate the kind of action we can expect from the lineup. This isn't the first we've seen of an open-world Gotham, however, this one promises a dynamic experience allowing us to patrol the 5 boroughs alone or with a friend in co-op.
Dad, you're it.
There's more characters to play around with and a whole lot of space to cover. Thankfully, we'll have the Bat-Cycle to get around with. It's coming out on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the next-gen consoles in 2021.
Father was right. We shouldn't have gone so deep.
Subnautica Below Zero. Since 2018, Subnautica has been renowned for its new take on the survival genre, one that focuses less on supernatural or post-apocalyptic premises, but on a fresh dive into the alien unknowns of the deep oceans. And Below Zero is posed to continue this tradition. Set 1 year after the original game, players will face new challenges in the freezing climate of planet 4546b. After a disaster strikes the alien research station, improvisation is the only solution. Unlike the first, the surface will be an integral part of exploration alongside the underwater experience. There will also be more focus on its narrative, a fact helped by its new fully voiced storyline that adds to the immersion. With the recent release of the Relics of the Past update on their Steam Early Access, it seems the game is finally nearing completion. Nothing yet has been confirmed, but it's set to release on the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch. Horizon Forbidden West. After the great success that was Horizon Zero Dawn, fans will be treated to a more cyberpunk primitivism in a whole new sequel. With the first game daring players to discover one large continent, Forbidden West promises a new frontier to explore. Stretching from Utah to the Pacific Ocean, it's an area cloaked in a mystery to be uncovered. Aloy's travels will take her through tons of new locations, from sand dunes to valleys and beaches. But other than the stunning environments, there's also an array of new creatures to battle. As a cross-generational title, it will boast a lot of upgrades to its visuals and performance. And on the PS5's SSD, it promises to be a seamless experience with no loading screens, allowing players to fully immerse in the new world. Taking an already marvelous game to a new level, it's coming out on the PS4 and PS5 in 2021. New World. Amazon has entered the video game market with an upcoming MMORPG that's determined to blow people away. With New World, they pull you into this eternal Isle of Eternum where the evil corrupted will force you to take up arms to save the world. And based on the recent trailers, there's definitely a lot of beauty in their otherwise haunted universe. In such an oversaturated genre, they've actually succeeded in turning people's heads with their combat.
Oh, you went to my sword and you didn't take damage? Or did you? I don't know. Damn, dude. I'm getting really pounded on here.
Inspired by Dark Souls, every battle needs to have a certain level of focus and skill, and that just makes it all the more exciting. As an MMO, free exploration is a core part of the game, allowing players to forge their own path in the fantasy world. Alpha testing may have revealed a sparseness to its current iteration, but of course, more changes will be expected to come up. It's set to release on the PC in spring of 2021. Medieval Dynasty. According to this game's developer, RenderCube, we've had enough of Kings and Fantasy adventures. This open-world game highlights the excitement of living the day-to-day life in the Middle Ages. A mix of life simulation, survival, and strategy, and you'll get to live life the way you want it. Or at least according to the limitations of the medieval environment. Build yourself a house within the village, gather resources, and learn to tame the wilderness in order to lead your group through the seasons. If you get tired of free roaming, it also offers a range of activities within its storyline that's full of quests and dangers. But despite that, there's still a sense of peace through the whole exercise that may entice veteran survivalists. It may not have a set release date yet, but RenderCube has plenty in store for the early access title this 2021 that might just lead to an imminent release. Dying Light 2. Following the Dead Island series in the open-world zombie game, Dying Light offered a flawed but enjoyable jaunt in sandbox-style survival. With the creation of this sequel, we were expecting to get a more refined experience of Techland's formula. Built in a brand new engine, the city in Dying Light 2 is 4 times bigger and holds a lot of promise in its massive urban open world. We'll still be playing as Aidan Caldwell, whose parkour mobility is set to improve, in a story set 15 years after the first game. There's factions to build, and every decision we make will create changes in its dynamic environment. It's a lot of promise for the sequel, but unfortunately, it's been the same promises we've been told for a while now. After more than a few delays, they'll hopefully overcome it all in time for a cross-generational 2021 release.